I don't know what's going on with this camera, with my phone. My phone memory is really, really full. But anyway, so these people were bullying her and dragged her, as she's leaving, dragged her back by her hair. Remember, small girl, prefect, good girl, black girl, year 7, just started the school, being bullied by year 8 and 9. Anyhow, no, sorry, by year 10 and 11. Anyhow, sorry if this thing cuts off. I don't know what's going on with my phone today. It doesn't seem to like me today. So you just got to bear with me. If it cuts off again, I'll restart it again. So let me just recap again. Year 7, prefect, perfect, exemplary record, academically gifted and talented, the whole 9 yards, young black girl. Years 10 and 11, white girls, I'm calling it as it is, white girls were bullying her. Now, she's gone to the locker room. And I've already had permission for the parents to share this story just before you know. They've already had permission. She's gone to the locker room to get ready for her next class. She's asked them, who are the girls that were bullying me? I'm going to go and tell the teacher. She's a prefect, so she's going to do the right thing. They've refused to give her the information. She's gone to leave the room. They've dragged her back by her hair. She had in extensions. They've dragged her back by her hair and proceeded to fight her. Now, with this young girl, she's tiny, and these girls are big. Even when I met her, she looked like she was about age 10. She's so small, so sweet, very, very quiet. They're beating her. She now has given one of them an uppercut. Hear it. This is the head teacher. She's now left, by the way, but this is the head teacher. Remember, St. Mary's School in Cheshunt. Do not send your children there. They have a problem with racism. I'm going to call it as it is. This young girl is violent. We can't have her in the school for the health and safety of the school, for the health and safety of all the other children. Remember, she's the victim and she's just defended herself. She was permanently excluded on the spot. Go to the governor's hearing. Obviously, you're going to lose sometimes. Lost to the governors, which I expected. I said to the parents, don't worry, because the parents are really, really distraught. Don't worry about that. We're going to take it to the next level. Went to an independent review. Luckily, they felt that they were independent-ish, because I don't really follow them. And we won the case. That's cool, I hear you say. That's fine. Cheryl Phoenix is doing her job as she does. Shut down. And I shut down one of the governors who looked like us. Not all skin folk are kinfolk who looked like us, but she was just a coon. Anyhow, roll on, not even a month, I get another call from the same school with the same issue. Young black boy being taunted by a white boy in the school. He doesn't physically touch this boy. He's all he does, with our kids, rah, rah, they carry on. However, I know, David, we do face this as adults, but hold on, I'm coming something. However, again, the young black boy, remember, didn't touch the boy. And then the other boy, again a young white boy, has been taken out of the area, but somehow manages to get back in to come and taunt the young black boy. Remember, the young black boy's over by the corner now, minding his business, looking out the window, calming down. It's cool. One of the teachers have got him in a chokehold to where the boy's the teacher ends up bruised down his arm and says that the student actually hit him. That's a lie, because we saw the CCTV. Stop lying, pun with Pickney. Anyhow, go to the governors. Again, the Coon Fest begins. No one's not really hearing nothing, because as usual the young black student must be the perpetrator, but no. Then went to the hearing. Parents are very distraught, and in both these cases, because like Boris likes to blame single parents for all the ills in society, both of these children, I'll have you know, Boris and the rest of your clowns, that all of these children have a 2-parent household. Mum and dad came to the meeting. The interesting thing is as well with this one, let me just tell you this. So we've gone to this meeting, the second one with the boy, and I bought one of my colleagues. Now, as you can see, I'm slightly more deeper chocolate. She's slightly more caramel chocolate. So she was coming to attend the meeting with me to see what's going on, what I actually do, etc. And she's actually a solicitor advocate. And when I say solicitor advocate, that means that she can actually work as a barrister in the courts, in the high courts, without anyone else there. So I've turned up at the meeting. She was running about 10 minutes behind me. I've turned up to the meeting, and the clerk for the governors has come up and spoken to me, etc. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to represent Cheryl Phoenix, a Black Child Agenda, blah, 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 blah. Check it out now. Remember, I told you about the skin colour. This is where you see the colorism. And whether I think it's conscious or unconscious, it happens. So he's gone downstairs because they said that they didn't want me in the meeting. Obviously, remember, I've been there not even 2 months before and shut them down. They lost. So I've come back again to represent this new family with the boy, etc. So then the thing is, now he's gone downstairs because they've said that I can't come in the meeting. So I've gone, really? Here's me, well, the meeting won't go ahead if I'm not present because I'm here. By law, I can actually represent my client. And yeah, we always get the aggressive tone, but it's like, whatever. So he's got running up and downstairs. My colleague then comes along and he now is talking to me. I've spoken to him. He's come back and fed back from what the governors have said. Well, then that means that a decision can be made in our absence. I'm like, that's fine. We'll just take it to the next level. I'm not frightened about that. But we're not going in that meeting unless I'm there and my colleague's there. As my colleague come now, my man comes back upstairs. He's no longer talking to me. I'm the one who's dealing with this case. He then directs all of his conversations to my much, much fairer skinned colleague and completely ignores me like as if I'm not there. So when we've left this scenario, the meeting didn't go ahead, by the way. When we've left this scenario, she had to say to me, but Cheryl, did you not notice that this man has completely ignored you now and is only directing all of his questions to me when I don't even really know what the hell's going on? I'm like, absolutely. She goes, well, why didn't you say something? I'm like, well, this happens every day. Colorism. And she was like, well, do you know what? That is the first time I've ever seen it. So that happens as well. So imagine that's happening amongst, I'm a grown-up. She's a grown-up. Imagine what our children are going through. So anyway, back to this thing with the school. That was just a quick thing I needed to give you. So back to the school now. And, we went back again, went to independent review, and again, shut down, you've lost the case. Because they accused the boy of being violent, aggressive, a safeguarding risk to the school, teaching staff and other children. Remember, he's defended himself from somebody else. Anyhow, I'm like, right, I need to actually write a complaint about this head teacher because there seems to be a lot of discriminatory practices going on in this school. Only for this year to come now. The year's gone on, haven't heard anything. Just last week, I had 2 calls. About what? The same school racially profiling black children who are not allowed to defend themselves when bullying is going on from white students. St. Mary's in Cheshunt. I'm going to call it as it is because the thing is these schools are doing this one by one and they don't feel that parents can talk out. Parents may not directly be able to talk out because they don't want their children to be a target. But I'm telling you this today that the Black Child Agenda will call it as it is. We will say what we've got to say. If I told you about what happened to me in my workplace, all you're saying is so far as to what happens to us in white-dominated spaces. That is it. And, you know, there's so many stories. I do hear it. Even some teachers are facing the same type of discrimination where they see something blatantly going on with their black students or any other students, and when they speak out, they're now ganged up against. Same thing with social workers and social services. They're not all bad, and I'm always going to say that not all teachers are bad, not all schools are bad. I've come across some amazing schools where they've even called me back to do some work with them. But at the same time, the fact is our children are going into these environments unarmed. Parents don't know what to do. Parents don't know where to go. Well, I've had so many parents who have called me just this week. Today's only Friday. Well, it's the end of the 5-day week, but it's Friday. And the amount of parents I've had calling me with regards to children that they feel, they know that their child needs additional support, but they're not getting the support in the schools. This child is not getting the help that they need. And rather than give them the help, they're kicking them out. Hence why I know a lot of you may have seen my post with regards to SEN children being one of the highest when it comes to exclusions. But if you also look at the prison system, remember my tagline is tackling the schools to prison pipeline. When you look at the prison system, the amount of young people in there that have special and additional needs and conditions because they were not diagnosed whilst they were in school, their schools just chose to kick them out. So this is something that we need to be very, very vigilant about. As parents, can I just tell you 2 quick things? Number 1, you don't need to wait on the school to apply for an EHC plan or for your child to be assessed. You can go directly to your local authority, download the form to your local authority, the area where they deal with the schools and education department, download the form, fill it out, and then start the process that way. If the school are not supporting you, you can take it from that way. You can even speak to your doctor, because I know that the whole thing with regards to CAMS can take up to 2 years. I've got a child who's been on a waiting list for nearly 3 years just to get a diagnosis from CAMS. You can have an EHC plan even though you don't have a diagnosis. Okay, you can. Yes, you can. As well as that, even if you have an E8C plan already and you want to home educate your child, your E8C plan can also pay for some of the lessons that you want your child to take part in. Maths, English, science, whatever that may be, it can actually happen. Just so you guys know and are reminded, we have a training workshop coming up on the 15th of December. It is a Sunday, I know, and I know many of you have church. I'm sure the Lord won't mind for one day. It starts at 2 o'clock for the afternoon session, which deals with exclusions, gangs and grooming, and something else I can't remember. And then we have the afternoon session, which is dealing with SEN, E8C plans, home education, and the law. These workshops are only going to be based around the legal aspects of what you can and cannot do, the responsibilities that a school has, what they can and cannot do, discrimination. We're going to be covering a lot, so it's going to be a very, very jam-packed day because it is a very, very deep subject, and I know there will be a lot of questions. As I said, we're going to be able to broadcast it live, so go to allthews.just-tickets.com and book a ticket and find out what's going on. But my main thing about today was to highlight this school, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this highlighting of schools. Trust me, Daddy, 2020, we will be highlighting schools. We're going to call them out, because the fact that I'm called to this same school twice in less than 2 months says that there's a problem. The fact that I've heard on the streets that there was at one point a petition going around to get rid of all the black students. The fact that there is a problem with racism in this school says that something needs to be said. Right now, they think that because parents aren't saying nothing, that means that nothing will be said and they can continue to get away with it. That's not going to happen. We're going to put pepper on all of these schools who are discriminated against our children. For you parents that don't feel that you can speak out, come to us. We will be naming and shaming. For all you teachers that feel that you're being bullied by your senior team leaders or anything else, let us know. We've got a page on Facebook called National Independent Parents Association. Send us a message through there, or send us a message to admin@theblackchildagenda.org, or even but info@'s really for actual cases, so we don't want that to get too blocked, so use admin@. And then we will do that, give us what's going on, and we will post it live and make sure that it gets around there, because the fact is they know and they feel that they can pick you off one by one and no one's going to know anything. What I've seen happening with, Downsview Primary School, because this other school I'm talking about is a secondary. Downsview Primary School in South London, I think it's Thornton Heath, somewhere like that. It's like I need a passport to get there. That place is far. How can I be there last week and the week before for the same issue? So, the schools, we're going to start calling that out, but we're looking at Downsview. There is a petition online with regards to what's going on with the head teacher. The head teacher was hounded out of another school because she wasn't following practices, and parents felt that she was being very discriminatory. So, we're going to make sure that we start talking up the things, because I don't see why, as a community, we should always suffer in silence. We should and then when we do speak out, we're told that we've got a chip on our shoulders, we're playing the race card. Just so you know, we're not going to play the race card. We're not playing the race card. This is clear inequalities. This is clearly the Equalities Act 2010 is supposed to be there to protect us. It's not protecting us properly. We've got all these acts and policies that aren't really protecting us. So we need to actually start creating a noise, creating a fuss. If you're not listening to us, it's either that we get blocked on all the social medias, which is fine, we can create our own, or we're going to start utilising the social medias more productively to support ourselves, our community, and our children. Because at the end of the day, the madness that we see going on the roads with our children is a direct result of what's happened in the school system. Remember, they spend more time in the education system than they do at home with you. So when schools are now calling for, or when the government's calling for schools, name and shame them bumper clot. When they're calling for schools to start at 8 a.m. and finish at 6 p.m., who's actually raising your children then? Because it ain't going to be you. And then when you do try to do that, they want to call social services on you. And then some of them social workers, I'm going to say it as it is, some of you social workers are lying little BCs, as someone has actually mentioned in those comments below. Stop lying on these children. Stop calling our young black girls aggressive. Stop telling our young black girls that their hair is not acceptable for school. Stop telling these young black girls that they have to wear their hair in a ponytail. What if they've got a short hairdo? What if their hair can't get in a ponytail? Why does their hair need to be straight? That's not how it grows out of their head. So you're telling me as a school you'd rather that child probably get cancer because they're using hair straightening products than actually just be happy in her own self and her own identity? No, we're not having it anymore. We're going to say what we've got to say. If parents need to come to us as an organisation, they will, they shall, and we will speak out, because we don't back down. We won't take no chat from none of you, and we will go head to head if necessary. The courts will see more and more of us coming to them, because this is a problem. I'm tired of hearing young people talking about their friends have been killed and no one cares. I'm tired of hearing about that their parents have to work all hours God sends and there's nowhere for them to go. I'm tired of hearing about cuts in not just benefits, but with regards to youth provisions, etc. I'll put this one back onto the parents. Listen, wherever you live, there's churches. Wherever you live, there's mosques. Wherever you live, there's community centres. You need to knock on their doors and actually command and demand that they allow you to use their buildings for, even if it's 3 hours, even if it's 4 hours. Home editors, whoever it is, you need to actually command and demand and start actually stepping up on behalf of our children. Because if we're not stepping up on behalf of our children, who the hell is, please? We see the result of what stepping up looks like, or not stepping up looks like. How long are we going to continue to bury the children in our family? There's going to be no husbands for your daughters and no wives for your sons if we continue this way. My rant is over now. I just had to get this off my chest. Those 2 schools in particular, Downsfield Primary School in South London and St Mary's School in Cheshunt. Like I said to you, I've had 2 calls about St Mary's this week, and I had another one last week. Again, the black children have been the victims, but yet been made out to be the perpetrators. There's an issue of racism in that school, which is quite widely known. I'm not just saying it, or inequalities, if we want to, not play the race card because it may offend some people. Look past that and actually deal with the matter. The matter is there's an issue, there's a problem. So let's actually tackle that. I'm out. It's Friday. I'm going to go and do something else now, relax and see what else is going on. I'm sure you guys saw what happened in central London today, or was it Shoreditch, or was it Parliament, where they shot this guy in cold blood. Allegedly, he had on a fake bomb suit. Who knows? A couple of weeks before the election. Smells a bit fishy to me. But anyway, thank you very much for those of you that are tuned in. And let me say wave, 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 wave. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, and I look forward to speaking or seeing to you. Go to all the w's.just-tickets.com. Book yourselves either to attend the training, or you can do it online. You can ask questions. Oh, it was London Bridge. Cool. You can ask